pass on it, ironically. And this person
want to hear what I'm saying, so.
Hi, Robert.
Hi.
I don't see Becky yet. I'm muted.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Well, she's just late.
No, I see her there. Becky.
You see Becky?
I
see
don't
her
see
name.
her, Linda.
I see her name.
Oh,
She's
okay.
on the list.
Now, there she is. Yeah.
Well, let me get, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Here's Becky.
Bill, Becky. See. There she is.
There she is. Hi, Becky.
Let's see.
Hi, boss.
So we got everybody?
Yep.
All right. I guess we'll call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the republic
to the
for which it
republic
stands,
for which it stands,
Stand.
one nation,
Under
under
God,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty,
with
and
liberty and
justice
justice for all.
justice for all. All right. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the September meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes from the meeting of Tuesday, September 1st, 2020.
I'll second.
Second,
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Linda, would you call for the vote, please?
Candelaria,
yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy,
Unmute, Becky.
I did. Sorry, I
Okay.
said yes. Sorry.
there you go. Levy, you okay with the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Butler
Yes.
and Remy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item is business of the commission, and we have a public hearing of application for a site plan. Neva, will you update us, please?
Okay, yes. Bear with me. I am going to share my screen here.
I gotta go to full screen. Okay.
Okay. All right. Is the site plan up for you guys?
It's coming, I think. There we go.
All right. Okay, so we have a site plan application from property owner 1020 South Broadway LLC to construct a 7,000 square foot cannabis grow facility at 1020 South Broadway. The property is currently doing business as Chronic Therapy, a cannabis retailer. And the 1.14 acre property is zoned commercial. The proposed building will have one accessible bathroom, 14% landscaping, and 18 parking spaces. The access to the retail store and the grow facility will remain off of Broadway. From the northern entrance. The land use code requires 18 spaces, 18 new spaces, and that has been provided for on the site plan. There is 2,700 square feet of landscaping. The plants consist of species from the City of Cortez recommended plant list, as well as some apple trees, which haven't been used too often recently in any of the land use or in landscaping plans that we've seen recently. This did go out for agency review, and there were several comments. The applicant has responded to most of the comments provided. I think the Cortez Fire Protection District would like to see a hydrant near the site. And the applicant has responded that the architects will discuss the addition of a fire hydrant relative to cost and location with the civil engineer. I did come across a comment that I had missed under my review from CDOT. Currently, Chronic Therapy has not updated their access permit from when it was a restaurant to a cannabis retail store. So they will have to update their CDOT access permit, and that is one thing that we should include as a condition for this resolution. And we'll have to phrase the wording for that condition, because that just came up. I found that email right as I was leaving work for the day. And that does need to be addressed in this site plan. So we have seen a couple of these grow facilities over the last 2 years. This is following form for the grows. They will have to comply with the separate state and local licensing requirements for this facility. And that's one of the conditions included in this project. As of now, they do meet the 1,500-foot distance requirement from protected uses. And I think that about covers everything for this project. So I'm wondering if you all have any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
Neva, I didn't notice anywhere on here, but is there any estimate of people that they will employ there? I didn't see it, but I'm
I
sure
didn't-
that. Sorry.
Yeah, that was not included as part of their application. We do have a representative for the project on tonight, and so he can probably answer that question. Again, these grow warehouses are not accessible to the public, and there will be no sales
Right.
coming from this building.
If you'd like, I can jump in and answer the employee question.
Well, we'll go ahead and have our public hearing then if no other commissioner has a question for Neva.
I've got one, Robert. Neva, the question about a fire hydrant being put in there, I read that a few years back they had a pretty bad fire on that side of the highway and they had to shut down the highway for a while. If the request for or the condition for a fire plug to be put in, is that at cost to the city or is that a cost share?
I believe it's a cost to the applicant.
Okay, all right.
I have a comment regarding that, or comment about the fire hydrant as well. I have concern considering this parcel abuts kind of significantly dense natural areas that have a lot of so I would think that it would be pretty important to have fire hydrant that has enough capacity to adequately mitigate or extinguish any kind of fire that might happen at this particular location.
Okay, you cut out for a little bit there. So you think with the vegetation of the wildlife area that it's important to have a fire hydrant? Okay.
I think yeah, that's my opinion. Am I cutting out now too?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay, I'll see what I can figure out on that.
Just don't move your laptop, Becky. It seems okay until you move it.
Yeah, I think it's the movement of the laptop.
Any other questions for her at this
I have
time?
one quick question, Neva. This is Steven. The route that's taken to the Pordia daycare, is that the shortest route?
Okay, let me check the plan. There is
Just by eyeballing it, it looks like via Hawkins Preserve Trail, that the Hawkins Preserve Trail would be longer, obviously by foot traffic without trespassing and what have you. But I was just curious if that was indeed the shortest route via foot traffic and was still within the proper amount.
Mm,
Tell you as somebody who knows a little bit about Hawkins, definitely the Mesa Trail would be the quickest way if people then trespassed onto a social trail that goes down into the ditch. Kind of course, that's I believe city property, and then connects back up to that. So there is kind of like a trespassing trail. If they were to stay to legal public way, it probably would be longer. I did look at that too.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and they would have to be trespassing to get onto the trail from there. So that's not providing a legal footpath.
Okay, perfect. that was just one thing I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions for Neva before we have a public hearing? All right, let's open it up for public hearing for the site plan review. Anybody here to speak for or against it? Please zoom in and state your name and address.
Hi, this is Ashley Clemens, working on behalf of Dean Brookie for Brookie Architecture and Planning, the representatives for the project. And my address is 720 Ford Drive, and that's Durango, Colorado.
Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. Yeah, well, first of all, we appreciate everyone taking the time to look over the project and giving us time today. I just wanted to address a couple of the questions that you guys had. So the number of people that they plan to hire is about 4 to 6 for the greenhouse when fully operational. Just to answer that one. And then as far as the fire hydrant goes, we didn't anticipate the need for it just because it's being just an ag building with so few employees. It didn't seem to pose a significant increase in like a life safety issue. So we were not planning on doing a fire hydrant, but we would be happy to discuss with the fire department what other mitigation efforts may be appropriate. So as a possible alternative. And I guess that's all I got for the moment. If anyone else has anything else to add.
Anybody have any questions for Ashley?
Yes, Ms. Clemens, did you state that the fire hydrant was not part of the plan?
That's correct. Yeah, it is. It was not part of our plan that we submitted.
I have serious issues with that simply because of what has happened in the past. If there is a fire on that side of the highway, they have to lay hose across 491 and 160, which closes down the whole north-south corridor.
Okay, yeah, and then I guess that's probably exactly what happened a couple of years ago when they had the arson. That's what you're referring to?
Well, that would be a major objection to me.
Okay, well, we are happy to accommodate that and to talk to the fire department and try to work something out. That's no problem. So.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for Ashley, for anyone? Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Anyone else online to speak for or against? Seeing no others, I guess. I don't know if they'd raise their hand.
Excuse me. Hi, my name is Sandy Bedore.
Okay, Sandy, thanks. Go ahead.
Hi, I had a hard time trying to figure out how to unmute me. Sorry about that. Again, thank you all for joining in. This is one of our projects that we're working with the owners of the property. And we are more than happy to talk with the fire department. We just wanted to make sure that you understood that it was arson that caused the fire and not anything that Chronic Therapy Cortez or 1020 South Broadway did to have the fire happen. So we just wanted to make sure that you understood that wasn't just a fire that, you know, one of us started. It was an arson, and that person did go to jail. He was So anyways, and then the other thing is, I just wanted to confirm with Ashley that we do plan on, when it's fully operational, we will have 4 to 6 more employees making well above minimum wage in the area. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Linda, did you need her to state her name and address? Where'd Linda go?
Oh, I can. Sandy?
Yes, Sandy, could you state your name and address?
Yeah, Sandy Bedore, B as in boy, E-D-D-O-R. And my home address is 27767 Richmond Hill Road, Conifer, Colorado, 80433.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else online to speak for or against?
I would just like to reiterate, Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Bedore, that regardless of the circumstances of the fire on the west side of 491 and 160, there was still a fire that had to shut the highway down. And I'm definitely opposed to this project unless a fire hydrant is on the west side of the highway.
You mean east side?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
We are fine to work with the fire department to come up with the proper solution. That's no problem to us whatsoever. Whatever they're going to recommend, we will follow up with.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Thank you.
Anybody else online to speak for or against before we close the public hearing? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, any discussions that you'd like to have?
In discussing this, is this the proper time to bring up the possibility of adding an additional condition that the fire department satisfied, or you know, I don't know if we want to say it has to be a fire hydrant, but I would prefer that personally. But just some kind of condition to making sure that that there's adequate fire flow in the event of the necessity to put out a fire.
I think that in condition A, where it says that any utility providers, city departments, and affected districts must be satisfied, would that not include the fire department?
I would assume, Steve, that it would.
Yeah, and I guess as an owner of a new building, I would want to make sure that I would have adequate fire protection, very, very close proximity, especially for insurance purposes, but that would just be me as an owner.
Well, so long as they're willing to go along with the recommendation of the fire department, I can live with that.
And I guess there's always a possibility we could just table this till we had further information and the city planning office could get with the fire department, or the owners proposing this could get with them and they could come up with a solution. But like Stephen said, it's probably included in A of the conditions.
Right. Or you can add a condition specific to complying with fire district regulations.
So like Becky said, we could add that as another condition specific.
I don't think that it's necessary to add another condition, because I think that it's satisfied in the first one. And I don't think that we need to table it either. I think that the potential motion that we could make, you know, considering that the Cortez Fire Protection District is a special district, it's one of those that's covered, and I don't want to table it because it's going to push off this potential development further for these guys, I think that it would be covered in the motion.
Becky, do you feel like that would be sufficient, covered in the?
It's just been my experience that if you don't specifically list it and it's already been an objection that was brought up in feedback, it doesn't hurt to add an additional condition to specifically say the fire district, that's just because it's not necessarily, I don't know. I've just seen things slip by in the past, not with the city of Cortez. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just in my past working experience. So that I think it's kind of important if it's something that's a significant that we do put a separate condition in there specifically calling it out.
And Becky, you are right. I mean, it's not going to hurt to have more.
Yeah.
Either way, I could go either way.
I'll go along with Becky's idea to have that specific condition included.
Okay.
Neva, are we also needing the CDOT requirement added?
I would recommend that. I would recommend something like condition G is that chronic therapy must comply with any CDOT regulations, and condition H, all requirements for the Cortez Fire Protection District must be met.
Okay, thank you.
That's my recommendation.
So with those two additions, any other comments? Makes sense to specify both of those as additional conditions. Lance, do you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Any other comments by any commissioner? Then I guess I would entertain a motion.
Try to make a motion, but I've got to have two screens open at once. Here we go. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the site development plan for the construction of the chronic therapy grow facility at 1020 South Broadway as submitted by agent Dean Berkey of Berkey Architecture for the property owner 1020 South Broadway LLC through P&Z resolution number 12 series 2020 with the following conditions. And those conditions include the F, E, F, G, and H.
Yeah.
Okay. That's sufficient?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? That's a little bit better. I can see people now. Well, then let's proceed to vote.
Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
Stephen,
Yeah.
McDaniel, McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Remy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Second item of business is a public hearing on an application for a special sign exemption. Neva, you want to give us some more highlight?
Yes, okay, so this is relatively easy. The applicant has pulled the special exception request as of today. So I think all you have to do is open the public hearing and then close it, since we already advertised for it.
Okay, so you said he pulled it, so he withdrew it?
He withdrew the application. He found a solution that doesn't require a special exception, so he's going to go with that.
Okay, well, in accordance with, is there a public hearing for or against? Where we'll open it. Seeing none, we'll close it and move on to the next item then, I guess, since there's
Okay,
no
thank you.
an application. Which would be the county development, a review of a county application for proposed 2 lots. Tracy, would you like to highlight us on this?
Yes, good evening, commissioners. Going to get your map up here. Behind the ball on that. Okay. So this is a county development. This is a review of an application for a 2-lot minor subdivision at property located at 27567 Road M, Dolores, Colorado, within the 3-mile influence area. Property is approximately 20 acres, and the applicant would like to split the property into 2 lots consisting of 3. It wasn't real clear in the application, but I think there's going to be 1 smaller lot between 3 and 5 acres and 1 bigger lot between 15 and 17 acres. They are requesting AR 3 to 9 and AR 10 to 34 zoning. There will be no need for new roads in this area, and it's not depicted on the master street plan in this particular location for Road M needing additional right-of-way. Therefore, staff recommends that the commission authorize the chair to sign the plat with the compliance signature block number 1 for the master streets plan. And that's all.
Any comments by any commissioners?
Tracy, you did say no additional permit would be needed for, or any changes would be needed for driveways. Is that correct? Did you state that?
I did not state that. You know, that
Well, why
may
not?
be
I'm sorry.
that would be a county requirement that we don't have oversight of.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Guess I'd entertain a motion then to follow the office's or city office suggestion.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to direct the chair to sign the plat for a 2-lot minor subdivision on property owned by Roberta Antholz, located at 27567 Road M, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 2 lots of approximately 3 to 5 acres and 15 to 17 acres on property in Montezuma County within the 3-mile urban influence area, with signature block number 1 for compliance with master streets plan, and recommend approval of the proposed rezoning to AR 3 to 9 and AR 10 to 34.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Then let's proceed to vote.
Levy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Remy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item is another review of a county application. And Tracy, I guess you get to highlight us on this one too.
Okay, this is a single lot development at property located at 13162 Road 25. So the parent parcel is 80 acres in size, and the applicant would like to split off a 5.9 acre lot. They are requesting AR 10 to 34 and 35 plus zoning. So the 5.9 acre lot is being split off where there are existing structures, and there will be no need for new roads in this area of the lot. This portion of Road 25 is not part of the master streets plan, and so staff recommends the planning commission authorizes the chair to sign the plat for compliance with the street plan.
Any questions for Tracy and or discussion? I guess I would entertain a motion then.
Okay, I think I forgot. Hold on. I'll make a motion to direct the chair to sign the plat for the single lot development on property owned by Melvin Hicks located at 13162 Road 25, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of approximately one approximately 5.9 acre lot on property in Montezuma County within 3 mile urban influence area with signature block number 1 for compliance with the master streets plan, and recommend approval of proposed rezoning to AR 1034-35 plus.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Let's proceed to vote then, Linda.
Butler, Tom, have we lost you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, Butler,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes. Sorry.
Remy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Last item on the agenda is another review of county application. Tracy, I guess you get to highlight us on this one too.
Yep. This is a boundary adjustment, and so the applicants are just it's not the best one. They just want to change their property line between 2 lots, and it's not going to affect streets. Trying to get to, there we go. I don't, I suppose if the county's okay with, I don't think they have any street frontage requirements that I'm aware of, so I guess that's not their concern. I suppose our concern is just whether it meets the master street plan. So yeah, I guess we recommend you authorize the chair to sign the plat.
Any questions or comments for Tracy? Or any other discussion? If none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion to direct the chair to sign the plat for a boundary adjustment on properties owned by Graham and Diane Nelson and Joseph and Diane Roybal, located at 27221 Road P.3 and 27211 Road P.3, Dolores, Colorado, on property in Montezuma County within the 3 mile urban influence area with signature block number 1 for compliance with the master street plan.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Then let's proceed to vote.
Levy,
You're muted. Oh.
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
McDaniel,
Yes.
Candelaria,
Yes.
Remy.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is citizen participation. Do we have any citizens online that would like to make any comments? Seeing and hearing none. Next item then is P&Z discussion items. An update on the master streets plan. Tracy?
Yes, Tracy here again. So we had planned to come forward and have a discussion about the draft master streets plan map and text with the Planning Commission. However, internally, staff has really taken a different approach philosophically to that draft map. And so it's been edited quite a bit since I sent that out to you about a month ago. And internal discussions have also caused us to want to delay this a little bit so that we can continue to look at it with a very critical eye. And we expect to have a workshop later in the year. And I'll be honest, what we're doing really has just focused it down to within the 1 mile area and kind of just do some tweaking with what we've proposed. And it's going to probably be lighter in the suggestions of future alignments. And if you at a workshop in the future want to add more back to that map, I guess that discussion can happen. So you kind of have one version of kind of throwing everything at the wall, and we're going to bring another version back that's a little more focused and prioritized.
Okay, so we can plan on having a work session later on in time.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you for that update.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Should have got a copy of all the building permits. Any other items of business that commissioners might want to bring up?
Can I just update you guys as the P&Z appointee to the Historic Preservation Board? I just wanted to let you guys know, and it won't be probably until at least next month, but the Historic Preservation Board tomorrow is going to be looking at some of the language that staff brought forward regarding the historic preservation section of the land use code. So just an FYI that that there may be additional amendments to that section proposed for our existing code in the future. But none of the language that I saw had anything to do with actually design standards or anything. It's just a better way to codify the historic preservation ordinance within the code, and so that it's part of that same document, from my understanding. Would that be about right, Tracy? Or is there any? Doesn't seem like there's any major changes other than just sort of laying out the procedure in the code.
That's correct. It was just really reorganized to follow better the subject matters in the current section, and then I think it just reads a lot better. We are clarifying kind of the really major change is just clarifying that we want to designate properties by resolution and not ordinance.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, which will make it easier for everybody involved if they are interested. And they, you know, of course, the property owner has to be willing to nominate their property or approve their property to be registered on the historic register for the city. And it does open up potential funding avenues for people who want to list their property. So it's a good tool.
Becky, did you say they'd already met or they're meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock just to discuss what was already existing in the draft land use code way back when, and how that language can be integrated into this land use code so that there's more of a clear explanation of the process if someone were to want to list their property.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other relevant comments? Okay, hearing none. Any old business? And hearing none, I guess next, I printed it up, but it didn't come out, but I assume it must be entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Not much discussion. Linda, would you call roll, please?
Candelaria,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Levy, McDaniel,
Yes.
Remy.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank
Good
you.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.